So I just want to thank everyone for coming. I know this is the first week that we're meeting in this 12-week series, and you guys did a great job with cooking the meal. We are all going to eat the meal together, and what I like about this is it's a brings a sense of community. The Fame series, for those that don't really know, so it's food is medicine every day, and we have this mission to bring in this idea of healing with whole foods and bringing in a whole food diet, moving away from highly processed foods. Um, but this other sense of bringing the community together and introducing cooking, bringing in safety skills and guidelines. Some people have never been in the kitchen really cooking, and I wanted to share my personal experience with you just because for those who are feeling a little bit, they just don't know what they're doing and they're looking at other people and everyone knows what they're doing. When I first started my master's program here at NUNM, I was not really familiar too much with a bunch of the different cooking styles, and I took this cooking class. I didn't even know how to cut properly, so it was all pretty new to me, and I'm here for you to support you in this adventure in that realm as well. So with this particular menu that we have tonight, the refried beans, the brown rice, and the kale, I wanted to talk about some nutritional topics and kind of bring in what we will be receiving with this meal as well. So some of the topics, they're going to seem foreign to you, like a different language. And over the course of the 12 weeks, we're going to start becoming more familiar with what macronutrients are. So when you hear macronutrients, what you're really hearing is carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And so when we are going to be looking at each of the individual things that we'll be cooking, we can talk about what we're getting from each of those. And talking about our particular meal, I'll just have everyone grab their book and turn to page 176. I just want to go over it because I highly encourage you to try this recipe at home, and then I'm available during the week if you want to email me any questions about it or anything about the class. During our meal, it's going to be the buffet style. Feel free to come up to me and ask questions. You can talk to other people and just talk about different things, concerns. So what I like about their setup here is when you look at the whole page and you're going to be preparing, you can go over here to the ingredients. You almost can take a screenshot when you go to the supermarket, bring the book if you want to. And you're looking at all the things you're going to need for the whole recipe. And then what I wanted to go over really also right now before we enjoy our meal is all the nutritional properties in our meal. So a couple different things about this with the preparation is I wanted to talk to you about this thing called burning point and smoke point. I really didn't understand what smoke point was uh, until I started taking the cooking class and another class from one of my professors. And the idea is that when we are cooking with oils, different oils cook at different temperatures. And when you have something that cooks at a high temperature and oxidizes really quickly, like saturated fats, that is something you want to try to avoid. So I'll get into that a little bit more when I talk about fats. But the other piece with this, when you're buying for the beans, you can do two different things. You can buy dried beans and you can prepare them, soaking them, the pinto beans, or you can buy the canned beans. But if you buy the canned beans like we prepared tonight, how we rinsed them and drained them, you want to look on the back label to see the sodium content. And you want to try to start learning how to read the labels. We want to move away from high sodium content. A lot of the soups The canned soups have that, so that's something to look out for. So yeah, so when you're looking down at the nutritional facts, what I really, really like about uh, how they really spell it out. So with the serving size, I'll have clients say, Jillian, I don't really understand like a half a cup. Well, you can actually get a measuring cup to see. You can start learning what it looks like with your eye to see what a half a cup is. But the meal, the idea is a serving cup. It's a half a cup of the brown rice and then a half a cup of the pinto beans, and then you can add the kale chips along with that. So they're talking about with the refried beans um, that there was this study done. Now, I'm not suggesting everyone eat pinto beans every single day, but they were showing that half a cup of a serving every day showed to lower the total cholesterol and also the LDL. And LDL, when you see LDL, it's kind of typically called the bad cholesterol. HDL is called the good cholesterol. LDL is the low density fatty acid, the lipoprotein rather. And um, what the pinto beans are doing is they're helping promote health. And when you take the beans and you bring them in with the rice, then it becomes a complete protein. So one other thing that they're talking about also was with the rice, and that it also has some trace minerals in it, manganese and the B vitamins. B vitamins support nerve health. It helps balance the mood. Manganese is known as an antioxidant. It helps with the cells and helps them protect them from injury. So those are the benefits for our meal tonight, and they really bring in this component of fiber. And the idea of fiber is it helps promote health, gut health. So bringing in fiber every day into your diet is really, really important. So yeah, so this is a great book, good reference. You can always look up different things within the index. If you forget where it's located, you just look refried beans in the index. It brings you right to the page. Two other books that I recommend when people start talking about foods and you're really not familiar with them. Obviously, you can Google it these days. You can come up with just putting in carrots and you can go right to a page and see all the different nutrients, vitamins, and minerals in them. But the healing food books really help support bringing you into healthy diets. And the thing that people will ask me is like, Jillian, what should I be doing? What is the best diet out there? And I tell people that there's no right diet because everyone has a different lifestyle. People have different preferences and food choices. People have food allergies, food sensitivities, intolerances. People are dealing with diseases and what they can and they cannot eat. So it's really, moving with the FAME series, it's just bringing in a diet that is really a whole foods diet. We're trying to move away from the highly processed foods. And, there's a whole list. If you really wanted to be like, okay, I want to go with an optimum diet. I want to live, there's about 7 different things to like avoid, right? And so designing a healthy diet, there's the 7 key principles, and then there's things to avoid. So when you want to bring in a healthy diet, they say eat the rainbow, and it's like eat the rainbow means that fruits and vegetables have all different colors, so you're bringing in all different assortment of vegetables and fruits, and they have all different vitamins and minerals. And these where the books can help you out figuring out what vitamins and minerals along with the fiber. And they recommend trying to avoid exposure to pesticides. So you really want to try to buy organic, or really wash your vegetables as well when you get them, um, even your fruits. Uh, they say regulate your blood sugar. And what that means is you just don't want to be eating foods and taking in a ton of sugar. And you even have to be careful, obviously, with some of the fruits out there are high in sugar. So there's this thing called the glycemic index, and you can Google that. I can even print out a whole glycemic index for anyone who's interested. And those are the foods that will tell you that are high in the number, and that can spike your blood sugar. So to be really careful with that. They say to try not to overconsume with meat and animal products, and eat the right type of fats, which I'm going to get into momentarily. Keep your salt intake low, and drink sufficient amounts of water. So we're talking about 8 ounce glasses a day. The foods that you want to try to avoid. So these are the highly processed foods. We're talking about the white flour products, the breads, the pastas, cakes, muffins, pretzels. You want to try to avoid the refined sugars. We're talking about candies and cereals and baked goods. The processed foods, again, I told you about the canned soup, high in sodium, a lot of different preservatives in there. Potato chips, theater style popcorns mentioned, you, staying away from shortening and margarine. The smoked meats and cured meats, we're talking about hot dogs and bacon, sausages, and lunch meats. And if you're thinking right now, oh my gosh, this is my diet, it's not to feel overwhelmed right now. This is just this new introduction to what can you maybe replace, and how you can lean more into eating a different kind of way and bringing in these whole food products, less processed. So, again, I just want to encourage questions, and again, when we're sitting down, please, or email me on that. Um, the the other thought I wanted to talk to you about was, we always learned about the pyramid growing up. And if you think about the pyramid now, there's a new pyramid called the Optimal Health Food Pyramid, and it looks very different. And so the handout I gave you, you'll look and you'll see a big triangle, so you guys can look down while I go through this. So at the base of this triangle called the Optimal Health Food Pyramid, we have at the base, we have two sections. We have vegetables, and they're recommending 5 to 7 times a day, and then the good oils, 4 servings a day. Above that line, we have the legumes, 2 to 3 servings a day, and the whole grains, 3 to 5 servings a day. The third line up, you'll see proteins, 2 to 3 servings a day, and fruits, 2 to 3 servings a day. At the very tippy top, you'll see dairy, and it's 1 to 2 servings a day. So this optimal food pyramid is trying to have you stray away from the high glycemic, starchy foods, the hydrogenated oils, and the deep fried foods. We're promoting a nutrient dense, whole food diet here. So I was talking about, the oils and what to kind of lean towards cooking with. And just to reiterate, it's the best oils to cook with in the baking recipes, the stir fries, and the sautés are the monounsaturated oils. These are the olive oils and the canola oils. Those are the most popular. But also recommended are the macadamia and the coconut oils because of their lower level of the polyunsaturated oils. So, as we continue this 12-week series, I'm going to continue talking about the macronutrients and all the different things. Next week, we are going to be doing the quinoa vegetable stir fry and the collard wraps. And you can even look ahead if you want. That's going to be located on page 188. And if you have any questions or concerns about our next meal next week. But I just, really want to go back to the idea that everyone has a unique diet, and that when I say the word diet, people think that they're going to have to refrain from a bunch of different things. And diet is more like lifestyle and what you're eating on a day-to-day basis. So you'll hear diets out there. You'll hear, oh, I've done the Atkins diet, or I've done the Zone diet. And yes, those diets definitely have you do certain different things. But like the Mediterranean diet is more of a lifestyle diet where you're including the monounsaturated fats and bringing in the whole foods. I don't really promote any one particular. Me personally, I have a Mediterranean diet more, but it's really just promoting whole foods into your own choices. The idea that the highly processed foods, what's going on there is it's taxing the system. It's making the system work harder. The heart works harder. Inflammation takes place. And this brings in an array of chronic diseases. So we're talking about the heart diseases and diabetes, especially when there's just a high intake of sugar. So trying to move away from that is highly encouraged. And so I really wanted to talk about fats, because people, hear the word fat and they just really feel like I got to stay away from fat. And that's just not the truth, because fats are a part of the macronutrients. It's just changing the fats up. So you have saturated fats and trans fats. These are really located in the highly processed foods. It's the monounsaturated fats that are called the healthy fats. So we're talking about avocado, olives, olive oil, nuts, seeds. And the thing about fat is they say that 2 to 5% of the man's body is from essential fat, and it's 10 to 13% for women. The fat helps with so many different things in the body. Some of it is maintaining the hormone levels, energy, regulating body temperature, fertility, and protecting the vital organs. So it's not, fat isn't the problem. It's just that when we consume too much of it, then it's a strain on the body, and where the dysfunction can happen in the different systems. So when you think of fats, they sometimes call them the bad fats, and then the unsaturated fats are the good fats. And on a scientific level, it's really the breakdown of what's going on with the fats themselves. And the saturated fats have this hydrogen atom that's attached to the carbon, and when it actually is in the blood, it's like sticky, and it adheres more, where the monounsaturated has a more of a free-flowing aspect to it. So it doesn't gum up, so to speak, in the blood. And so they consider that the healthy fat. Well, I really, really appreciate you coming today, and we have a great meal ahead of us. So I look forward to learning all about you and your stories, and helping support you in this FAME series. Thank you.